Nice to have you here today. My name is Mercedes Fogarasi, like Lisa mentioned, and I am with an organization called RIWI, which stands for Real-Time Interactive Worldwide Intelligence, RIWI, we just call it RIWI, and we are based up in Toronto, Canada. We have a technology that we invented about 10 years ago, originally at the University of Toronto for pandemic mapping and disease surveillance, which is quite timely now, given everything that is going on with coronavirus. But since we first invented it many years ago, we've now been able to use it for a variety of different applications and use it beyond just the original purpose. So originally it was for more of a survey tool, and now we've been able to use it for message testing, randomized control trials, really a whole number of different remote data collection initiatives, including digital campaign scaling and rapid response assessments, monitoring and evaluation, the whole sorts. So really what we focus on is being able to listen to citizens and ask them questions in a really safe and secure way, in ways that they otherwise wouldn't be able to participate in this type of research. So in terms of really who we are as a company, as an organization, we really focus on accessing what we call the quiet voices, or those individuals who otherwise wouldn't be able to participate in this type of research for whatever reason, whether they typically do not self-select to participate in research, or whether they're typically ignored or forgotten, or are otherwise hard to reach because of where they are, if it's dangerous, or if they're in circumstances that just make it inaccessible. We really try and access those individuals. The technology we have, it is an internet-based technology, which can of course be a limitation, but that really is the main and only limitation that our platform has, because we are able to access anybody who does have access to the internet in a random and equal way. We work with a number of different groups in this space, and mainly the humanitarian space. So we work in a lot of various different humanitarian crisis contexts on topics related to migration and refugees. Particularly with the World Food Program, we do a lot of work on that topic and social cohesion between host populations and Venezuelan refugees throughout Latin America. We also do a lot of work on LGBT rights, I mentioned migration, but on forced labor and human trafficking. We do some work as well. We do a lot of peace and conflict work, a lot of human rights, so a variety of different issues in this space with a number of different groups like USAID or the UN, different government agencies, universities, etc. We really pride ourselves in the research aspect and being able to provide accurate data on a timely basis quite quickly as well. So a little bit about what really makes us unique in all of this, and how we're a little bit different than other groups who are doing other types of remote data collection. And of course, we're not the only method out there, and we're not necessarily going to be the best method out there either. But it's really important to have various different data streams and data sources, which is what we bring to the table. So pairing RIWI data with focus group data with key informant interviews can be very valuable. And so we're able to provide a very robust and fast way to access people who are actually on the ground. In terms of, what really makes us unique, we're able to access every single country in the world, including closed societies. So whether it's a complex environment to be in person, or if it's simply that the internet is not free, we're able to access those countries, and sometimes at a subnational level as well, without being censored or blocked or tracked in any way. There's no way that we can be shut down. All of the data, or all the surveys that we have, are deployed quite rapidly, and then we also collect the data quite rapidly as well. So within a matter of days, we're starting to see thousands of responses, depending on where we are. And what it really depends on is the internet penetration rate of a certain geography and the overall population number. So in countries that are larger, like Colombia or Venezuela or Ecuador and Peru, we see very high numbers of respondents. In smaller countries, we'll see slightly slower numbers, but still very sizable differences. We typically do surveys of anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 plus responses. All of the data that we capture is completely anonymous and secure, really making it safe for the respondent, and that's really at the core of what we do, is ensuring that anonymity and not collecting any personally identifiable information from the respondent. So we don't have their birthday, their name, social security number, or even their contact method. And the way that they come across us is completely random and almost unintentional. They're coming to us rather than us going to them, because we don't know who they are before they come to us. I mentioned that the data that we capture comes in rapidly, and it does come in on a continuous basis as well through our interactive dashboard, which I'll also show a quick snapshot of in just a couple minutes. And then we are particularly effective for these socially sensitive issues, whatever it may be. We're really the technologists behind what we do, and we work with a number of different groups who are more of those subject matter experts who have that very detailed expertise and knowledge on a number of different topics that we work on. So our actual methodology here, and I'll just talk about it quickly in a nutshell because I know time is tight, but really the way that it works is when somebody is surfing around online or they come across a web page, however it may be, whether it's directly through the URL bar or clicking on a link that someone has sent them, either on an email or WhatsApp, that will take them to somewhere on the internet. And sometimes you might come across a domain or a website that appears to be broken or is not there for whatever reason. What our technology is able to do is identify those domains and then put our content on those domains for one given use of the survey or the message test or whatever we might have at that time. And the user can choose to respond when they come across it. Our technology identifies where they are, sometimes at a subnational level, but always at a country level. And then sometimes we'll go more granular than that, depending on the purpose of the survey that we're doing. And if the user wants to participate, they are more than welcome to. And if they don't want to, they can also leave quite easily as well. We want to make it easy for people to leave because we know that they're giving us their time, and we don't want to force anybody into doing anything that they don't want to be doing. So we really emphasize that the security and flexibility of the surveys as well. So that when somebody does respond to either one question or the survey in full, all of the data is collected through the dashboard, like I mentioned. And this is a quick snapshot of what the dashboard actually looks like. This is a survey we ran in Venezuela about a year and a half ago now on the stability situation when there was particular turmoil really starting to erupt in the country. So this is an example of one of the questions we might ask, and then the dashboard itself as well. All of the data is provided in its raw format as well as weighted formats. Also in the dashboard, it's possible to do various different types of crosscuts and analysis directly in there. And it's also possible to look at time queries and response rates. And then you can also download the Excel and SPSS files directly from the dashboard to enable further analysis, but really making it as easy for us all to use as possible, because I'm not a statistician, but I can find this dashboard easy to use. And a lot of the folks that we work with aren't necessarily statisticians or data scientists either. They're individuals and organizations who are very interested and need to know what people on the ground are actually seeing and experiencing and perceiving, what their attitudes are towards various different important issues. So lastly, I'll just show a quick example of what one of the survey questions might actually look like. We do try to keep it as simple as possible for the respondent as well, recognizing that literacy is very much a spectrum for everybody, and we can't assume where someone is at, both in terms of literacy rate, but also where they're at in their day and how much time they have. So we try to keep the surveys as short as possible and as iterative and flexible and easy to answer as possible as well, so that we're not asking people to, read a full paragraph and write a whole paragraph in response. We're allowing them to answer by just a click of a button. So that's a quick example of one of the questions that we've asked actually in Colombia and in Venezuela as well, when we do a lot of this migration work, specifically around refugees and the drivers of migration. And this is my contact information. So I'll leave it there, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.